Hello ladies and gents, welcome back. In this video I'm gonna give my thoughts about yesterday's matches in the London 2020 group. And yesterday they played the third and last match in that group stage, and it was between Andrei Rublev and Dominic Thiem. And the other match, the evening match, was between Rafael Nadal and Tsitsipas. It was obvious that the Nadal-Tsitsipas match was the most important match in that group, that has the most significant importance. And before I go into that match, I'm just gonna give a few words about the Dominic Thiem match against Rublev. Dominic Thiem was already clear to play the semi-final, and he went into this match not with 100% focused, and it's pretty impressive that his first two matches he played like nobody else has done in this tournament except Medvedev. He really showed that he's the force to count on. He's one of two guys that are here to beat, but I will add Rafael Nadal into that duo. So now it's three guys that I can think. Maybe Djokovic and Zverev also, they are handling their affairs tonight. And that's going to decide who's going to go with Medvedev to the other semi-final spot. But to start with, we saw this last year when Dominic Thiem beat both Novak and Roger Federer in his two first group stages match. And he was qualified for the semi-final. And then he met Matteo Berrettini, who has lost his first two match, and then Dominic Thiem didn't put in 100% effort in that match. I understand, because everybody has to look out for their own, but I hate when a professional tennis player doesn't give his 100% focus on the match. I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to be injured. He's thinking about himself. That's cool. But the way he played, it's not acceptable for a tennis lover like me, because tennis is a gentleman's sport. You will never see Rafael Nadal behave like that, not to go in 100% in his matches. It was almost like he was tanking that match. He lost the first set 6-2, and then he lost the second set 7-5. At least he tried a little bit more in the second set. And we have seen these guys, some of the guys has done this before. I have seen Novak Djokovic done this before. And the motivation always beats pure class, so when it really matters. So Dominic Thiem didn't have the motivation yesterday. He just wanted to play that match, get some more practice. Maybe I didn't watch the match, but the highlights and the results, if you look at the stats, everything says to itself. Because look, a guy like Rafael Nadal, he's perhaps the biggest role model for an athlete. He always dedicated. He always put 100% effort. He plays every ball like it's a match ball, from start to the end, point in, point out. It doesn't matter if he's 5-0 or if he's finished in the group stages at the ATP World Tour Final event. He doesn't do these kind of things, and that really made me a little bit disappointed. But at the same time, I understand why Dominic Thiem did this, because the next match is super important. It's a semi-final, and he's gonna meet either Novak Djokovic or Alexander Zverev. Enough said. Dominic Thiem was the best man in that group, if you count out the last match, but it's like that in sport. You can't control everybody in it, and you have to be smart. So the stats: Dominic Thiem won 66% of his first serves in, 35% of his second serves in. His returning game was not that good. He won 20% of Rublev's first serve and 35%, I think, of his second serve. He did 16 winners and 59 for serves in that match, and he converted 1 out of 1 breakpoint opportunity that he got. He took that chance. Rublev, on the other hand, served pretty great. He won 80%, but that doesn't say so much, because Dominic Thiem wasn't 100% focused, and he won 65% of his second serves in high number also. If he had done that in the earlier two matches, he could probably pushed both Rafael Nadal and Tsitsipas, but he didn't. And he won 34% of Dominic's first serve and 50% of his second serve, and created 26 winners and 9 unforced errors. So that's good. He took care of 4 out of 10 breakpoint opportunities, Rublev. So he didn't lose all his matches. He still did an average tournament. I expected more from him, but I knew that he was going to take the last spot in this group, like I told you in my preview. All right, enough about that match. On to the blockbuster match. The match that in the advance was gonna be a great match, at least in my mind. And look, I have to tell you another thing also about Stefan Tsitsipas, how he is. Because last year, if you remember, when he won this ATP World Tour Finals, he was exactly in the same position like Dominic Thiem. He won his 2 first matches, and he went into the deciding Rafael Nadal battle. And I thought to myself, he's not going to give 100% effort in that match, but what a hell of a performance Tsitsipas put up there. He really played that match like it was a semifinal against Rafael Nadal in the round 3, exactly last year at the same time. But the difference is, in this match, it was more on stake because none of these guys were clear to be the participant in the semifinal. So this battle was a high-stake match. The winner takes it all, the loser stands tall. But Tsitsipas put out a great performance last year. He really pushed Rafa in a 3-set match, and went on to play the semifinal then after that against Roger Federer. And we all know the history, we don't have to go into that. But yesterday's match, the thing that impressed me yesterday was that both guys served great, mostly Rafael Nadal. I've actually never, if I can remember, I've never seen Rafael Nadal serve that great that he did yesterday. It was amazing. Just look at the stats number. In the total, he won 81% of his first serves and 60% behind his second serves. He returned solid, great numbers, 27. It's okay for returning a great server like Tsitsipas. And he won 56% of Tsitsipas' second serve. And that was a key moment in the match, that he took care of that chance that he got. And the young Greek, he served great also. He won 73% of his first serves in and 44% of his second serve. And won 40% of Rafael's second serve when it was in play, and only 19 of his first serves. But Rafa, the way he served yesterday, he took out that serve when he most needed. When he was under pressure, he did a couple of aces. Both of the guys did 8 aces. I've never seen Rafa do 8 aces that I can remember. So behind the baseline, Rafa is the usual one. We know what we can get from Nadal. We know his game plan. This fast court surface is not as clay. We know that it doesn't benefit Rafa's forehand, but still is deadly consistent. It's still lethal. He still does the winners. He still put his opponent out of rhythm. He still handle the game so good that he puts pressure. Because in this match, Rafael Nadal, he switched up the gears. He just set an incredible high pace from the start, and the Greek was trying to handle that. He struggled a little bit in the middle of the first set. He really tried to get toe with Rafael Nadal, but Rafa's game plan was obvious. And everybody knows that he was going to aim for Tsitsipas' backhand. What did he do? He did that. But he also surprised him, because Rafa pushed the ball to Tsitsipas' backhand and expected sooner or later that Tsitsipas is gonna hit himself out. But Tsitsipas challenged him. He really tried in the first set. It went good, but the devastating thing was in the end of the first set, when they were up 4-4 and he was gonna serve to take the lead 5-4, the young Greek, he did 3 backhand unforced errors and a double fault. And Rafael Nadal won the first set after that by take that opportunity in a bag and just close the deal. He served out the set and won the first set. And in the second set, Rafael Nadal didn't lose a single point in his serve until his third game, I think. He only made 2 unforced errors in that second set. He won 88% of his second serve and 73% of his first serves. So that means he won more points on his second serve. But the young Greek wasn't that bad either. He won 88% of his first serve in the second set and 54% of his second serve. So they were toe-to-toe until 4-4 again. And then Rafa did his worst game of the match. He was super rock solid before that. And when Tsitsipas got those 2 set points, Rafa won a great point. But in the next point, Rafa made a crucial double fault and gave the set back, the commando back to the young Greek, and he leveled the match. And into the deciding set, Rafa, like a true champion, he stepped in, he broke the young Greek's serve immediately, but then Tsitsipas broke Nadal again, he broke back, and I thought that this is going to be real action, but what did Rafa do? He broke the young Greek again. He took the air out of the young Greek that he does to most of his opponent, most of his opponent that he faces. So he sailed away and won that decider 6-2. And Rafa have now won 71 consecutive matches. I think if it's 3 sets matches or 5 sets matches included, when he has won the first set, 71 consecutive victories. Just look at the numbers. Super amazing. So Nadal, he served tremendously good. I've never seen him serve that great in that match. And the way he switched up the gears, he was tactical, super smart in this match. If you watch the game, you saw that Rafa is a tactical genius. He put loops on Tsitsipas' backhand, and sooner or later he made those mistakes. But the young Greek didn't give up. That's for sure. But in the long run, he was physically drained. So Rafa didn't take so much risk. We know that he's not the guy that takes huge risk. But when he stepped into the court, when he hit with his forehand, he made room for his forehand and put the young Greek almost in the coffin. But Rafael Nadal, the way we saw, the way he played yesterday, he has advanced on my list. He, Medvedev, and Team are the guys that's gonna win. Probably one of these guys is gonna win, and we're gonna have a new victorious guy here for the 5th consecutive season. And Nadal just made he executed a superb game plan in this match. And the young Greek, he tried everything. He tried to hit his backhand with length, with depth. He did some great backhand flicks in that match. But in the long run, he made just too many unforced errors. But it was a super quality match. He took risk, and by that, he tried to give Rafael a little time as possible. And he hit the ball really hard yesterday. Harder than I used to see Tsitsipas do before. He knew that he had to hit through Rafael Nadal to come out victorious of the match. But it's so difficult when Rafael Nadal puts this pressure on you, because Rafa's cross-court backhand is one of the most underrated ground strokes in the ATP circus. The young Greek should have been a little bit more sharper in his execution of the big shot. He's really tried to serve. His game plan was serve great, go around and hit with his forehand. Use that as his biggest weapons. But Rafael Nadal, since he's a solid returner, he returned 56% of the Greek's second serve and 27% of his first serves. When the ball got into play, that meant that Rafa had the upper hand. He dictated the game. And like I said, it's very difficult to play against Rafa when he's solid from all the areas, because his serve was great, his forehand was great, his backhand was great. And he tried, he didn't rush to the net as much as I expected. He did that a great job when he approached the net. But the important thing in this match was that Rafa handled his serve. He didn't give the young Greek so many opportunities to come into the match. And he executed a tactical genius plan. And many people forget that Rafa is one of the smartest, perhaps the smartest guy on tour today when it comes to tactical changes. Exactly like Mats Wilander did back in the days. Exactly. That's why he won 7 Grand Slam titles. He, in my opinion, achieved more than his capacity, but he was a tough guy. He was a smart guy, Mats Wilander. So, all in all, Rafael Nadal, I'm super impressed with his performance. I didn't expect him to be this good. I said in my preview that I expect Nadal to come through 55-45 in this match, but I wouldn't be surprised if the young Greek would have changed the outcome of the match. And Rafa, he's looking great. He's waiting for his opponent in the next group, and that's Daniil Medvedev, a guy that suits Rafa more than anybody on this field, because Rafael knows how to handle him. He has the short tolerance in the longer rallies. Medvedev really has to push Rafa more and pull the trigger more often. If they go into too much long rallies, Nadal, in that super shape that Rafael Nadal is in, I think that he will have the advantage. And now I have seen that Rafa has so tremendously good also. So if Medvedev is going to advance, he has to be super solid as has been through these group stage matches and the way he performed at Paris Masters. So Rafael Nadal, I don't know what to say, but I'm so amazed by this guy. Day in, day out, consistent. Years for years, 15 years. It's incredible that how a guy like him can perform week after week, day after day, tournament after tournament, without losing any hunger, without losing any focus. It's so amazing. I don't know what to say about this guy anymore. Is he a robot? Is he a machine? No, he's a human being like you and me, but he just puts the extra energy, the extra focus. He's determined. He's not a stranger of improving. He wants to learn and be better all the time. That's what separates him. I know everybody on the tour wants to be better. They have great work ethics. But Rafael Nadal, he's something else. He's a beast when it comes to training regime. He always tries to improve his game. He's never satisfied. Have you seen Rafael Nadal being satisfied on court? No. The day he's satisfied is the day he put his racket on the side and said, guys, I have done everything I can do in my power. I will now let the other guys, the other generation, develop the game and take the game further. Because Rafa is a person like that. Rafa is a great role model for every kind of athlete out there. Even though I've praised Rafa enough in this a lot in this video, it's not enough. He is not my cup of tea when I watch tennis, but I can't help to admire the effort he puts in. The hard-working man, this really paid off. Together with his talent, everything floats in together and makes Rafa this unique tennis player. My all-round all-time favorite is Andre Agassi. I love the way Federer played first strike tennis. I love the way Sampras played. I love the way Stefan Edberg played. I love the way Ivan Lendl played. And plenty more players. But when I see Rafa, I just sit back and relax and say, oh my God, what an amazing performer. To do that constantly, day in, day out, week after week, it's amazing. How can you do that? I'm pretty curious how this guy find the motivation of going into the court, practice court, competition court, and just block out everything around him. I know that he's a down-to-earth guy. He has a good environment around him. He has his both feet on the ground. And Rafa really is a fantastic dude. I've started appreciate him more. But still, I don't think that he's going to win this tournament. But if he wins, nobody deserves it more than him. With all of this year that he has earned his spot in this ATP Tour Final with the 8 best guys. That's a receive that I think that he's, how many times has he been in this ATP Tour Final? 15, 16, I don't know. I start losing count. He has deserved that spot every year because he has collected those ranking points. Not like Kyrgios, not like other clowns that just talk more. They let their mouth talk more than their racket. Alright guys, enough about Rafa. Super solid performance by him. He's going to take on Medvedev, and Thiem is going to take on the winner between Djokovic and Zverev. They're going to play today. It's the first match of today, and we will see who will win. Sasha needs to take care of his serve, otherwise he is doomed. If he serves like he did before this tournament, if he can't out the final against Medvedev, he will maybe have the upper hand against Novak. Novak, we never know. He's a big stage player. You can never count that. A master in action like Djokovic. Djokovic has his game plan. He knows what to do. May the best man win. And I hope that we were going to see 2 great matches today. All right, folks. Take care and bye-bye.